And I was saying it was a martial art that incorporated all martial arts. And it does. But it got called out. I said, well, if it does, then it should have an internal aspect. It should have a combat aspect. It should have a health aspect. It should be what Tai Chi used to be before it became today's Tai Chi, right? So I decided I would check with the classics and find out what Tai Chi of the then was like. I'm not going to compare it to what it's like today, but you'll know. All right. Back then, to be Tai Chi, it had to align with the 5 phases, the I Ching, the Ba Gua, the 8 Gua. I Ching is a book of changes, very famous. You would have to have the 10 principles in it. And back then, if you didn't know the 10 principles, you couldn't go to a class. It was the prerequisite to going to a class, the 10 principles. What are the 10 principles? Oh. And Tai Chi is the way nature moves. So when you think of Tai Chi, you think of the movement, the exercise, the people in the park. But that's was named after Tai Chi. A long time ago, this is in the classics, somebody saw somebody fighting somebody using what is now known as Tai Chi. And he said, wow, that looks like Tai Chi. So they called it Tai Chi. But what is Tai Chi? That's the dilemma. No, this is what it is. Think of a supernova. Black hole. Right? Halfway exploding and halfway collapsing, they meet. They are at the equilibrium force. So you got a force going this way. So the explosion, and a force going this way. Supernova. Right? And in between, you have a little thing made into a spiral. Goes this way, goes this way. The perfect place in the middle where it meets, at its equilibrium, those two things going this way and this way become one thing, and that's Tai Chi. Basically. So it's this. Oh, that's it. This is Tai Chi. So, with that, how does it the 5 phases work in? Here are the 5 phases. Birth, growth, transformation, decline, and death. Then it's birth, growth, transformation, decline, and death. It's like a seed comes down, falls down, goes into the ground, past our consciousness, so it's into darkness for us. It's like doesn't exist anymore, but it still exists, and it slowly starts to deteriorate, and then finally the water gets to a certain point and it goes poof, and it grows back up. A leaf, even though it doesn't become another tree, will dissolve into its component parts and come back up as something else. That's the 5 phases. So, if you take the Tai Chi and you make that into 5 phases of birth, growth, transformation, decline, and death, or wood, fire, earth, metal, water, you would take this part apart, so you get like the 5 phases, right? Take this part up. or it's meeting the line coming down, there's also a little Tai Chi in there. So when you do the 5 phases in movement, remember there's 5 phases where it's generating. So birth creates growth, creates transformation, creates decline, and death in this cycle that we're in. But there's also a controlling cycle where birth new stops transformation or controls transformation, or transformation controls death. Death controls growth, growth controls decline, and decline controls birth, basically. So this is little movements coming up and branching movements in your Tai Chi exercise. And these are pulling, yielding movements, and these are throwing movements at the end. What's in the middle? The Tai Chi movement. It has to be both. It has to be going forward and backwards at the same time. So when your hips are going backwards, your upper body's going forward. So here it goes. So it's the same thing. So at the waist, you have to be nice and relaxed, like this. All right. That's Tai Chi. And the I Ching with the Tai Chi is pretty simple, it's obvious. With nature, you can see the dance with Venus and Earth and the Sun, the orbit. So the Venus rotates around. This isn't the globe theory, people. So it goes around. Who knows? Maybe it's a flat Venus. Venus goes around, Earth goes around, and then every 1.618 years they meet. So they meet 5 times every 8 years. 5/8. That's the ratio that we're in the Fibonacci sequence. All right, so that's the nature 5 phases meeting with the Bagua, the 8. Why did I create my own system of martial arts? First of all, it shouldn't take years to get good at it. If you practice every day, it shouldn't take years. But you can't practice every day in normal schools because they make you wait years to learn something. This, practice right away. Which came first, Tai Chi or Tai Chi? Obviously the Tai Chi came first. It's part of nature. And to look like this, you need to move your hips like this. Ever see a paint can? Take a paint can, put a piece of plastic or cardboard in it, pour some paint, one color, pour some paint a different color, take out the cardboard and spin it. It will form a Tai Chi inside that. So even a paint can knows that this is Tai Chi. So think of 2 paint cans. All right. So to pass this test I created for myself, where my system had to have an explanation for Tai Chi, I put it against the 10 phases. Insubstantial spiritual quality, head top power. That's the principle number 1. Insubstantial spiritual quality, head top power. Let's also send your spirit to the crown. Also. So what that is, you can do this in 1 minute. Take your arm and just do this to your arm. Smack it, touch it. What I want you to do is remember the feeling. Touch it. And remember it and try to do it again with your mind. It's a feeling. So it's just electricity. You should be able to do it again. Go like this. And do that with your mind. Go like this. And do that with your mind. Alright? So now, remember when you were a kid and you were hanging upside down You can close your eyes. Just remember when you were a kid, hanging upside down, and what that felt like. It helps it just sit up straight. Sit up straight. And feel your face as if you're hanging upside down. Feel your arms pulling as if you're hanging upside down. You can even put your arms overhead. Really feel it. Not imagination, but feel what I'm talking about. Keep doing it. You can feel your blood rushing to your face. That is substantial spirit quality head top power. That's it. Do that while you're doing the Tai Chi. Amazing healing benefits. All right. Contain the chest, raise the back. It's pretty simple. Very pragmatic. So when you are in combat, when you're punching, wrestling, right, moving, this is a set point. If I push on this, it pushes against my lats, and that pushes against my spine, right? When I turn back, I'm using my body to push it. Once I launch it, I can send it out. But to get it going, to get somebody off you, to move them, to get the momentum going for a throw, it's full power with your lats. That's contain the chest. And to raise the back, that just means to bring your lats up. So you have your lats are here, you have some kind of thing to push on, right? Also, sometimes it says round the back. So, round the back doesn't mean hunch the back. You really can't fight like this. It should be obvious. Don't fight like this. Relax the waist. So that's like this. Remember I said like this. So if I go like this, this snaps this way. So when I have my waist like this, I snap this way, and the top part snaps the opposite way. It looks easy, but it takes some work. Separate empty and full. I made myself some notes. To join, you first must separate. All right, whatever. Oh yeah, I remember this one. All right, so there's 4 types. There's you see in the park when the people just kind of stepping on one leg, stepping on another leg, lifting this leg, going over. That's one of them. That's the easiest one. This is very good. If you're old and you're just wanting some good balance, this is perfect for you. But there's better ones. All right, there's kind of 2 parts. There's a health Tai Chi and there's a, we'll say Tai Chi. There's a health Tai Chi and then there's a combat Tai Chi. In the combat Tai Chi, the separate full and empty happens as you step back and you're lunging forward. So you're stepping backwards. And as your foot hits, the heel hits, you lunge forward again in your attack. So you're yielding, pulling, and then attacking. Pow. All right, so the third one, you learn to create an effervescence coming from your heels, which would go also into insubstantial spiritual quality head top power out of there by putting your intention into your heels. You'll learn about intention next, I think, or the sixth one. You put intention into heels, that creates a separation between a insubstantial double you've made of yourself that becomes what the internal part of internal martial arts means. So some people say internal means it's from China. It's internally created in China. That being true doesn't help. Doesn't make you a better martial artist or a healthier person. It's like this. Right, so there's different levels of understanding. Some people say internal means standing still until your legs give out and start to vibrate. That could be it. It's internal. What I'm talking about internal is you create a separate version of yourself that lives, not because it doesn't live, you create it whenever you give it thought. And it's an electromagnetic self created by your nervous system and blood working together, right? Internal. And this internal self you can use to separate the spirit world reality where it lives or is and your physical reality. So when you put heel into heel, you feel effervescence. But that's later on. All this takes about a day to learn, by the way. You don't need years. All right, 5. Sink the shoulders, drop the elbow. Pretty simple. If your elbow's up here, you cannot push or pull anybody. So, drop the elbow. Sink the shoulders. When you sink the shoulders, it's back on your lats. So really sink the shoulders, drop the elbow, embrace the chest, and round the back are all the same thing. Use intention, not strength. So instead of taking a arrow and stabbing your target with it, you're going to take a bow and just let go of the string. What that means is, before I strike a target, I have my whole nervous system turned on to just before it hits the muscle on all aspects of what the movement is. So when I release it, it's instant movement. Oh, like this. See, it's pressuring against myself. And then I release the pressure. And then it pops out. That's one meaning. Also, if I push this forward by pulling this backwards, I don't use any strength to do this very much. Right? It's here. This is another way to do it. So normally you push, now I'm pulling. Looks the same, right? Pushing, pulling. Don't use strength of this. So if this is relaxed, you just go really fast. It will snap out. Upper and lower mutually follow. I mean, this goes with the relaxed waist deal. So think of gears, right? Hitting another gear, but more like this. So you have to have a gear line here. That would be where your waist is, right? Mutually follow. So this one moves, this one's gonna go. If this one moves, this one's gonna go, because they're linked with the gearing. They're linked with your waist. inner and outer mutually harmonize. All right, this is when it gets a little crazy. Remember that insubstantial body double I mentioned you would? To create it, you have to use tons of intention to almost make your nerves fire the muscles. Yeah, don't worry, there's a step-by-step process how to do it. It takes like 15 minutes to do it. But anyway, you create this internal body, basically, made of electricity or plasma. And then, if you move while you're making it, because it's made by moving without moving. If you move while you're making it, the charge will go away. So what you do is that you learn to move really slowly and keep the charge. And the more you do this moving really slowly and keeping the charge, you'll be able to move faster. So you don't want to stay moving slowly forever. You want to go through a stage of where slowly is just keeping the charge in the movement. That's it. It was inner and outer mutually harmonized. Your inner being you created, the electromagnetic being, and your physical being. Mutually link without gaps. That's all of them together. That's upper and lower mutually follow. It's internal, external harmonize. It's the elbows. It's the hugging of the chest. It's the lats, all moving together. And I'll show you something what that looks like. It looks like Tai Chi. And 10 is within movement, seek stillness. Oh, that's it. Seek stillness within movement, and with movement, seek stillness. So, there's movement. Where is the stillness in this movement? Seek it, find it, look for it. So, isometrics is still. Tight, still. That's stillness. So if I do multiple isometrics, I'm making stillness in the movement. And when I'm able to make an isometric place in the movement, it's a stopping point. So I'll be able to go full speed and stop at these places I created. Right? So you have more power. You can either punch through something or stop in front of something. Your choice. But that's what it is. And those are the 10 things. So I decided to make a video for you explaining these things. And this is what's in the video. You'll be one of the very few people who knows what Tai Chi is. Basically, you understand the 10 principles, you understand the 5 phases. In the combat video, we'll have how to do the controlling phase. In the generating phase, it's like rock, paper, scissors of combat, basically. Oh, you know better why you move slowly, you already do. How to create an internal immortal electromagnetic body. See, the how, it's important. And by moving without moving, the duality thing, Tai Chi will start making sense to you. You'll become formidable and dangerous if you take that aspect of it. But it's not, you don't look dangerous. Well, maybe you do, but it's not your portrayal. You're a warrior in the garden, right? And your garden is your physical being as well, so you just take care of your garden, both health-wise, confidence-wise, fearless-wise. You'll be a different person. You'll be fearless. a protector of others as well as yourself. So you're like a mini knight kind of person. You learn what the internal smile means, and you'll be able to do it. You'll get my 4 underlying postures and how I figured this out in the first place. 5 phases of movement, the controlling cycle. Create another internal version of yourself where you can be doing Tai Chi internally. So you can take, not only can you move doing Tai Chi, you can take your internal electromagnetic self and practice all the time. You can practice baseball, you can practice throwing, you can practice anything, piano, with your internal body. This is going to cost $1 billion. Should cost $1 billion. All right, blah blah blah. Where the Tai Chi symbol came from? I already told you that one. See, I'm so generous. How to become more explosive in striking? Said how to do it, but that's not like showing you. I could teach you how to jump up and do a spinning heel kick. Say how it's done, but that doesn't mean you'll be able to do it. So there's a little bit of training involved in this stuff. How to see your opponent's intention prior to their striking. This is magic, right? How much is this going to cost? $1 billion. So basically, you do. I'm telling you, you do move hands like clouds, and you do push hands, but not to beat them, but to learn to feel their movement in different places as an extension of yourself. All right, but there's more to it, obviously. Well, I'm going to show you how to properly form a fist, because when your arms are like this, your fists are like this, so it's a little different than what you may think. A little bit. Oh, and how to make it really tight. And but wait, there's more. Oh, I'm going to show you the difference between internal and external timing. The real definition of power is the power of creation, because all other powers are secondary. Teach you how to unlock your spine and decalcify it so you be more flexible and get greater power. Become more confident, obviously. Just making yourself stronger and formidable, confidence galore. Stronger, more in control, faster, supple, flexible. Has the ability to dance as a side effect. You learn my secret of dynamic isometrics. It's the key to fast. First they're slow, then they're smooth, and the smooth leads to fast. So slow, smooth, smooth, fast. The balance of the opposites to generate power. You learn how to use the water palm, the fire palm as well as your striking surfaces. You become healthier, anti-aging by default. You'll be more flexible. You have a reason to live now. Looks like I'm going to teach you how to do the center pillar exercise, how to find that infinity spot inside you so you can grow with Dantian. Learn the difference between seeking movement in stillness and seeking stillness in movement. I already told you one of those. So how much is this going to cost, for God's sake? Deal? What's the catch? The catch is you might get bored of Tai Chi because now you can do it. You can do it better than most Tai Chi masters. But I'm not saying this is Tai Chi. Looks like Tai Chi. my system has way more things. So maybe you like to do way more things as well. Anyway, let me know. See you around.